This is my great-grandma and grandpa, Hammer. I decided to, for my history fair, to ask my grandma and grandpa a couple of questions. Grandpa, how old were you when you married Grandma?
16.
How old were you when you joined
The military.
the military?
Military?
Mm-hmm.
1942.
Grandpa, what years were you in the service?
43 to 46. 2 years and 5 months and 4 days.
2 years, 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
What was Grandpa's job in the war?
Well, I drove a big truck to pull a gun that was using a howitzer, they called it, and had ammunition in it with it. So.
That sounds dangerous.
Mm-hmm. What branch of the military were you in?
Artillery. 884th
Army
Artillery.
artillery.
Where were you when you heard the war was over?
Pardon?
What years were you in Europe?
Can't remember. January of 43, I think it was, and then we left there in December 46, or no, December 45.
Where were you when you heard the war was over?
In Hamburg, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So, Grandpa, is there a story you would like to share?
Yes, I like this. When we went overseas, we left Boston, and then it took us 15 days to get over there because they zigzagged across to keep away from the submarines. And then we landed in Marseille, France, and from then on it was in the war. So, but I lost one of my best friends in a booby trap that the Germans had set for us. And
Grandma, how old were you when Grandpa left? How old were you when Grandpa left?
I was 18. He had to be 18 to get in the service.
Mm.
How did you feel when Grandpa left?
I thought my world had ended. I didn't know what to do without him.
Mm.
How many kids did you have then and total?
When?
Then, when Grandpa left, and total?
Well, we had one when he left, and then he come home on furlough, and we had another. So that was the 2.
Where were you when you heard that the war was over?
I was at my mother's house in Ogden, and the sirens was blowing, and
This question is for both of you. Is there any story that you would like to share, or like any of the real big challenges during the war?
well, one thing, I was real shy then, and I hadn't been out in public very much, and I had to find my own doctor that the Army would accept, and I had to find the hospitals, and it was really hard. Volunteer to be on KP.
I like to eat.
That's funny.
But I didn't have much to say, but It was hard being, but I lived with my mother and dad most of the time. But still, when I couldn't drive or anything, I had to walk all over Ogden.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even think about that. Wow. Did you know that? That Grandma doesn't have her driver's license. She's never driven before.
Wow.
It was hard. And one thing that I had to go find out about how to get it paid for when I had Trudy was clear down on 25th Street. And I had to walk down there myself on 25th. And I didn't have no way to get, when she was being born, didn't have no way to get to the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
So we went and asked a neighbor to take me to the hospital. It was
Oh my gosh.
very exciting.
And so, Grandpa wasn't here when Grandma was born. When my mom was born.
No.
How old was she when you first saw her?
Let's see. Seven months.
Wow. That's crazy.
It was difficult.
Yeah. Definitely.
I think he was having more fun than I was.
Oh, yeah. Dodging bullets.
Yeah.
Well, you did get out a little bit, but he said that they'd be in them big trenches, and they called it bed check Charlie.
Bed check
Okay,
Charlie.
Kelly.
Yeah, it's a German airplane and fly over every night. And they didn't have gasoline. They used charcoal to fly, to burn, you know.
Yeah.
And their engines would go woo, 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 you know. And they'd fly over to keep us awake.
Oh my
at night,
gosh.
so that, and they would keep out of the anti-aircraft areas, you know.
So, when did you sleep? Like how, I never really thought about that. I guess if you had to be up during the night,
Yeah.
you'd sleep during the day, or?
No way.
I didn't think
No,
so.
it'd keep us awake, but we had to be on the go, you know, to keep.
Wow.
So, because our guns was supporting the infantry, you know. We was firing over their heads and clearing all the Germans and stuff out of the way we could. So.
Oh my gosh. It's hard to even imagine, you know, isn't it? It's like, I just can't even.
Just them shows on TV.
Yeah.
Sorta.
Yeah.
We was very fortunate that he got home. Because he was in the Battle of the Bulge.
Oh, yeah?
And they'd have a map in the paper every night to show where they was going. And that's how I kept track of him.
Oh my gosh. So, did you ever get phone calls or anything? Like,
Oh no, we didn't have contact.
Contact
with
at
phone,
all?
Just a letter.
really?
Yeah.
They have these little email. The whole letter would be on one about that big.
Mm-hmm.
And if there was a word cut out of it, we don't know what they meant, but they would search through our mail.
Oh.
Yeah, they had to read it, you know, so that they
Make sure you weren't giving
wouldn't
any
be no
information.
out, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was scary.
Yeah, that would be really scary.
Yeah.
Too
So-
bad you had to pick us for duds.
No! No, I don't think so at all. You're
way.
funny.
That was the worst 2.5 years, though.
Yeah. I'll bet it was weird
Yeah.
on your relationship too when when he came back home. It had to have felt. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I was
You know what I
mean
mean?
when I come back.
You were mean
I was mean, yeah.
because you'd been around war.
Right, yeah.
Because you'd seen a lot of bad stuff. Well, Grandma teased you a lot, though, right?
One thing, when he
Yeah.
come back, he was twice the size that he was when he went.
Really?
Yeah, he was skinny when he left. But yet being in that KP and having all that food,
Mm-hmm.
he put on quite a bit more.
Oh, well,
Really?
we done a lot of lifting and stuff.
I was
like
gonna
that,
say, did you
too.
bulk up like muscle
Yeah.
and
He
stuff? Because I'll bet it
wasn't fat.
was. Yeah,
He was
just bigger. Yeah,
he grew up
Lot-
a little bit.
yeah, yep.
But I've shrunk a little.
You've shrunk a little now.
Yeah.
He weighed 185 when he come home.
Wow.
Yeah. But it wasn't fat. I was
No,
only
I'll bet
28
muscle, huh?
I was only 28 inches around my waist and wore a 15 and a half shirt.
Oh my gosh.
Have you got a picture of him in his uniform?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Thanks for letting me ask you these questions about your life.
Okay.